We welcome those of you digging in for Seattle and Anaheim. It is McGwire digging in here with a chance to win it for St. Louis. 3-2 Houston. It's the last of the 11th, and it's smoke against power. And McGwire to right field. It's foul. Billy Wagner, 99 miles an hour is how he brings it. Mark McGwire is the man he's facing.
He's coming right after. Power against power.
Nothing for three with an intentional walk is McGwire this afternoon. Now remember last time that McGwire was up there with a man on base. The man on base in an ill-advised move stole second, and they just went ahead, said fine, let's walk Mark McGwire.
Very good. That's right. They walked him intentionally instead of trying to just pitch around him and pitch him carefully.
2 strikes to McGwire, who is holding with 37 home runs.
I like what Wagner's doing. He's not fooling around. He's coming right after him. Because when you try to pitch around hitter sometimes, you don't throw your best stuff. And you wind up getting burned.
There it goes! He did it! No one in the league throws harder than Billy Wagner, but he couldn't throw it by McGwire.
No doubt about where that one was going, I'll tell you, Josh. That went a long way. And as soon as he hit it, you knew the game was over. Right there, baby. Right there.
He did it on an 0-2 pitch. He destroyed it to win the game for St. Louis. Watch his son Matthew.
He wasn't real sure there for a while. He was the only one, though.
Father's Day on July 11th. And the Cardinals rally to win it on a 2-run, 2-strike.
There goes that donut in July.
The home run by McGwire. It is his first in July. Boy, everybody here was getting worried. It had been 22 at-bats without a home run. It was like the town was in a panic. Mark McGwire is standing by. Mark, congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Billy Wagner throws it pretty hard.
I really can't hear you. The fans are too loud, but...
Tell us about the at-bat, if you would, Mark. That was Billy Wagner you just hit.
Yeah, he just got to gear up. He throws 95 to 100 and got to look for something hard, and I just hit down on it and carried it a long ways.
You hit down. Mark, this is Frank Robinson. You hit down on it?
You got to hit down on a guy like that because he throws it so hard and he tries to make you chase the high ones, and I chased the high one prior to that, and it was just a ball. I just told myself to hammer down on it, and you know, this is a game of millimeters, and a millimeter to right.
Mark, what does it mean to you to have your son Matthew out there to greet you after you win a ball game?
It's awesome. He's the love of my life, and it's just wonderful, especially that way.
Were you surprised to get such a good pitch to hit 0-2, Mark?
I can't hear you.
Were you surprised to get such a good pitch to hit 0-2?
Well, you know, a guy like that, he's aggressive. He goes right at you, and you just got to be ready. You know, the last 3-4 days, I've probably had half a dozen balls that I've missed. I've been a millimeter off, and it's just a matter of time before you get it on. So we got well over 2 months of the season left, and you just got to work through everything.
Mark, you're getting cut very little slack these days. You hadn't homered since June 30th, and a lot of fans were talking like that was the longest home run drought in the recorded history of baseball.
Well, it's no big deal. Everybody goes through stretches like that, and I've been getting pitched tough, but sometimes if you get balls to hit, you might not hit them. You're not going to hit a home run every day or every week. It just happens like that, and that's why it's a 6-month season, and you just got to. You just got to work through everything.
Mark, congratulations, a 485-footer to win it. Go get him tomorrow. Thanks for your time.
All right, thank you, guys.
Mark McGwire wins it for the Cardinals, 4-3 with a 2-run jack on a 2-strike pitch. Number 38 for Mark McGwire, your final 4-3. Chip Carey will be along with scores after these messages. For Frank Robinson, Josh Lewin, goodbye.
Home runs, at least to him, don't mean nothing if the team isn't winning. In a perfect world, his home runs would come in the team's final at bat. He leaves the yard, fans leave happy, the team leaves a winner. He's done it twice this season in a good series. Mark McGwire taking on the Astros. He hasn't hit a home run in July. That guy has. Jeff Bagwell, bagpipe second, RBI of the game. It's 2-0 Stros. Bottom 4, same score. Brian Jordan's on third for Ron Gant, who was activated. And look at RG, a liner that leaves the yard. He's got 13. We're tied at 2. Bottom 9, 2-2. McGwire's on deck.
Right, and here's Jose Lima, who's become as good a pitcher as he is a singer, and he is angry about coming out of here. Doug Henry comes in and walks Ray Langford on 4 pitches, bringing up McGwire. And on ball 2 here, Langford steals second, which we're still not sure exactly why he did this. Of course, it leaves first base open. You know they're going to intentionally walk McGwire, which they do.
The next batter, Brian Jordan. Henry gets Jordan to ground to Berry at third. Biggio bagpipes, double play. Astros out of the inning. Lima says, all right. Bottom 11 now, 3-2 Stros. Clayton's at first, 1 out. Wagner, McGwire. This is just cheese on cheese, and it's cheese balls. Holy crow, McGwire goes upper deck. His 38th, Wagner had a couple of great lines after he said McGwire hit the tar out of the ball. I couldn't see it. I thought it was out of the stadium.
Right there.
And that is McGwire's 3rd extra inning home run this year. The National League record is 4 by Ron Gant and Willie Mays. Just another record for him to demolish.
So again, there it is. McGwire leaves the yard. The fans leave happy, and the Cardinals do get a victory in 11. McGwire now with 38. Wagner, by the way, had converted 19 save opportunities in a row. This was only his 2nd blown save of the year. Bagwell now has 6 consecutive 20 home run seasons, but it's the season McGwire is having that is grabbing all the headlines.
I don't ever get giddy. It's just, it's nice. Right at contact, I knew it was gone. But when you face a guy that throws that hard, it was 98 miles an hour. And it was probably one of the easiest swings I did all day. And it'll go a long ways, and it did.
All right. What has Mark McGwire done? Tim touched on it. 3 extra inning home runs this year. Babe Ruth hit 2 in 1920.
Mano with Billy Wagner.
A guy like that, he's aggressive. He goes right at you. And you just got to be ready, The last 3-4 days, I've probably had half a dozen balls that I've missed. I've been a millimeter off. And it's just a matter of time before you get it on. You're not going to hit a home run every day or every week. It just happens like that, and that's why it's a 6-month season. And you just got to, you just got to work through everything.
All right, what about don't adjust your stance, don't fix your swing, don't listen to everyone else. Just change what's between your ears. Well, McGwire must have listened to his own advice, called his patience has paid off. McGwire and his Cardinals looking for their 3rd straight win. And here we go, bottom of the 1st on the first pitch he sees from Sean Bergman. Mac makes him pay, rips the line drive home run into the Astros bullpen, number 39 in the year. Cardinals 1-0. Bottom of the 3rd, tied at 1. Bases loaded. Ron Gant rips a single past Sean Berry at 3rd. Royce Clayton and Ray Langford come around to score, and Cardinals take the 3-1 lead. Top of the 7th, J.R. Phillips cranks the towering solo shot to right, his 2nd of the year, and Cardinals cruising 5-4. Bottom of the 7th, same score, and McGwire back at the plate. launches the 415-foot bomb to left field, his second home run of the game, 40th of the year, number 427 career. Big Mac powering his Cards to the 6-4 win. It was McGwire's 47th career multi-homer game, passing Killebrew and Mantle for 8th all-time. McGwire said he credits his homer binge to his 10-year-old son, Matthew.
He kissed my bat. That's what it came down to. He kissed it yesterday and hit one, and he left this morning, but I was still on it. So.
The puckering works. Mac breaking his own record for reaching 40 home runs in record time after reaching the feet in 294 at-bats.
And in this day and age, they just stand and admire him. In the old days, he'd be on the flat of his back with the first pitch. But now he's settled in. He has very quiet feet. And watch the bat. It stops right there. And it drives it right there. They didn't have to wait long. Gone. Watch now, it's going to wind up one-handed. See how the right hand is off the bat, full extension of the left arm. Watch now. Now here comes the full extension, and the right hand comes off the bat, and that's what apparently gives him the extra, I was going to say footage. It would be yardage, mileage. When you come to the ballpark, you say, no way he hit that. No way. And yet he did. Now just wait till you see where that is. I mean, it's got to be 530, 540 feet away from home plate. 545, they say. Meanwhile, the home run he just hit is above the diners in the club. And that had to be another monster, although he has hit so many now, the numbers mean nothing. Now, right up above that and way over to the right, way over. All the way over. Right about there. It went up in there, and that's a long, long hike from home plate.
Then he crushed it 511 feet. And here it is again. Bohannon's first pitch after he had 2 strikeouts to open the game. And why in the world do you lay one in there to McGwire?
On Friday, the home run watch continued against Brian Bohannon. McGwire hit one over 500 feet.
McGwire now holds the major league record for home runs through the month of July.
You know, I can't really sit back and think about what I've done tonight. Yeah, it's great. We won the game, but I got to think about tomorrow. And that's one thing about baseball. It's a long run. It's 6 months. It's what you do at the end of the year, and there you have it. There's the numbers. So I got a long ways to go.
Sammy.
Spot in the Dodgers lineup 15 games ago, Raul Mondesi is batting .381 with 5 homers and 16 RBI, helping LA win 3 of its last 4. While Mondesi and the Dodgers are hot, Mark McGwire and the Cardinals entered Friday's game ice cold. Big Mac was stuck on 40 homers and was 1 for 11 since homering twice Sunday. The Cardinals riding a 4-game losing streak as they hosted the Dodgers. Bottom of the first, no score. Brian Bohannon facing Mark McGwire and Big Mac to infinity and beyond. His 41st homer of the season to give St. Louis the early lead. And take another look. So nice we had to see it twice. 511 feet away, the 4th longest in Busch Stadium history. He also owns the top 3. Bottom of the 7th, Eli Marrero, the Cardinals catcher, batting 9th. The pitcher batting 8th. And the double scores 2. 3-0, St. Louis on top. 3-1 St. Louis, bottom of the 8th. Antonio Osuna facing Big Mac and McGwire with 4 multi-homer games this season. Make it 5. His 42nd of the season right there. St. Louis victorious. 4-1 your final. Big Mac with the most home runs at the end of July. We'll have more on that coming up a little bit later. Juan Acevedo with the victory. After the game, here's Big Mac on his big night.
Last night was pitched very, very well. And I just kept telling myself tonight to be aggressive, and saw a pitch that I can take a whack at, and I swung the bat twice tonight and saw 2 strikes and hit 2 home runs.
What produces a swing like that? I mean, is that
I don't diagnose things like that. You see it and you swing. I'm not a player that sits down and diagnoses a swing.
With his second homer of the night, McGwire breaks the all-time Major League record for home runs by the end of July, and he still has 13 games left to go in the month. By the way, the Cardinals' single-season record is 43. That was by Johnny Mize in 1940.
Has recently started to slip into the baseball lexicon. The Elias Sports Bureau, the official statistician to Major League Baseball, neither records nor compiles data on home run distances because of their imprecise nature. But being unofficial hasn't prevented the estimates from popping up on scoreboards and in game summaries. As Bob Stevens points out, all homers are created equal in the box score, but not in popular culture.
Sakatua.
Americans are fascinated by power.
Absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Baseball is fascinated by statistics. The two meet, sort of, in one extraordinary but elusive event, the tape measure home run.
Oh my goodness! How far is this one going?
Sometimes when the ball travels up there, you sort of lose it. I would say the majority of the time I come in and the players will tell me where it went.
Whoever the moron that is the tail of the tape called it 440 feet. My gosh, boy, it was more like 640 feet.
Clobbered to left field.
Sometimes when we know we're hitting really good, like the one I hit in Florida, that's something special, and special for me.
Perhaps the first thing you need to know about tape measure home runs is they don't have anything to do with a tape measure.
Do you know how they measure them?
No.
I have no idea how they would calculate something like that. When it's obviously it's going to be a home run, I grab my binoculars and fly.
Along with operating the Turner Field scoreboard, Jimmy Thomas spots and reports Chipper Jones and anyone else's home run distance.
And then calculate and look up here on the sheet and figure it out. And then I asked Steve, I said, does this look about right to you?
In Atlanta, home runs are credited the spotted distance of wherever they land. But the math is different for Vinny Castillo when he's at home in Denver.
We estimate where we think it would have landed had it not hit the scoreboard, a fan, something like that.
That means estimated footage is added to the spotted distance. And that's perhaps the next thing you need to know about tape measure home runs. They're scored a little differently in every ballpark. When Mark McGwire played in Oakland, his shots there were measured on a grid developed for IBM's now-defunct Tale of the Tape program. Estimates of the distance the ball would have traveled had it returned to the ground were calculated according to one of three possible trajectories. The line drive gave you the highest number, the towering fly ball the lowest. His longest recorded ball there, 465 feet in 1995. McGwire's move to St. Louis brought him into uncharted territory, literally. The Cardinals also estimate by spot plus trajectory, but the upper deck had never been precisely mapped.
Hank, are you kidding me? Oh.
It wasn't a big deal until May, when Mac hit 2 balls up there in 4 days.
Obviously a ball had never gone over the backdrop, let alone as high as the advertising sign out there. So, yeah, initially I kind of almost doubted my eyes.
After looking at replays and talking to witnesses, Vooch estimated them at 527 and 545 feet.
There's no way that balls that McGwire hit are going 600 feet. It's ridiculous, and they come up with 528. I mean, they're not even close. By 50 feet, they're not even close. So whatever their formulas are, they need to go back to school and check on them.
Well, it's an illusion in a sense.
Dr. Robert Adair is back at school, Yale University. He's authored a book on the physics of baseball and consulted on the original Tale of the Tape program.
Probably the very long home runs, you're talking about a ball that goes up to 160 or 170 feet. And then it's coming down. It's got to be coming down. It's always coming down. You hear all sorts of apocryphal tales about balls still going up, but that's not really true.
The most legendary of all the Titanic clouts is Mickey Mantle's 1953 blast out of Washington's Griffith Stadium. A Yankees PR man announced a distance reported both as 562 and 565 feet.
That was a home run that caught the imagination of the American public, went out on all the wire services, and it was reported as being measured by a tape measure. It really wasn't.
Phil Jenkinson's been studying long-distance home runs for 18 years, sifting through the fact and fiction of them. He thinks Mantle's ball went more like 510 feet, but the legend persists. And every time McGwire steps into the box at Busch Stadium, John Vooch faces the possibility of telling the world Mantle's reign is over.
I'm aware of the Mickey Mantle 565-foot home run. I've got too much respect for the history of the game to try and artificially pump up a number. McGwire, what he's doing is impressive enough, and he doesn't need us to make it any more impressive than it is.
And that's perhaps the last thing you need to know about tape measure home runs. Despite the guesswork and the hyperbole and the controversy surrounding the measurements, when you see Mark McGwire hit a baseball a tenth of a mile against Major League pitching, you are witnessing an extraordinary event, something that only a handful of men have ever accomplished. That's how legends are made. And maybe that's how it should stay.
Despite the work that I do, I'm never going to be able to tell anyone exactly how far any ball was hit by any player. If that were ever done, a great deal of the mythology, the romance, and the allure would be gone.
This week's Baseball Tonight.
My son Matt.
Hey Matt, how you doing? I've seen you on TV. And I think, you might have been on TV more than your dad. When you came to St. Louis?
It's true. Matt McGwire just might be the secret weapon in his dad's epic home run season. A notion Matt first put in motion back in April when Mark went on a tear.
That's well hit down the line and left, and gone. Over the wall, his second of the night, his sixth of the season. The 2-0. Into center field. It's a 3-home run night for Big Mac. Here's young Matt McGwire.
I think we ought to keep the kid in town.
I think we're going to have to put Matt on the payroll. This has been a big night for the McGwire family.
Matt didn't do much for dear old Dad at the All-Star game, as Mark left the home run derby in the first round. But Matt worked his good luck charm once again this week, after Dad went 22 at-bats without a home run. Saturday afternoon in St. Louis, Houston and the Cardinals tied at 3, bottom of the 11th.
He did it on an 0-2 pitch. He destroyed it to win the game for St. Louis.
Fly ball left, that'll drop, and that'll go. 39 home runs for McGwire. McGwire's second home run of the day and 40th of the year.
No, Matt wasn't in the park for 39 and 40, but he did leave his mark.
He kissed my bat. That's what it came down to. He kissed it yesterday and hit one. He left this morning, but I was still on it. So.
He's almost like McGwire, McKeon said. Well, on Monday we got to compare and contrast as Big Mac and the Cardinals, one night after Big Mac won a game with his legs on ESPN, hit San Diego. And with Big Mac in the house, Vaughn wasted no time busting out the whooping stick. First at-bat in the second inning, 433-foot blast off of Matt Morris. Number 35 for Vaughn. We're tied at 1. Top of the third, Royce Clayton is in business to do business. A nice barehanded catch by the fan. Number 4 on the year, Clayton also tripled off the wall, 2-1 Cards. McGwire's second at-bat. Single in his first at-bat, goes the other way with the McGwire shift on. Not a Padre in sight. McGwire had 3 singles on the night, 2 opposite field. But in the 5th inning with Brian Boehringer in search of home run number 43, he got it. 458 feet. A 2-run shot, number 43 on the year, 6-1 St. Louis. Here's what's so special about this McGwire-Maris chase. Every person in the park will remember this special moment, number 43. They were personally witness to this. Same goes for McGwire's son and the bat boy, father-son thing. How good is that? 13-1 is your final. McGwire, a 4-hit night, ties his career high. 43.
Okay, Carl. Now, in our 9th season, it's ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball. Tonight, Raul Mondesi and the Los Angeles Dodgers have traveled to the banks of the Mississippi to take on Mark McGwire and the St. Louis Cardinals.
hero finds for me. And you, dear listener, you leave old memories and such things disgust me. Storm the door. Get out! Poetry and power! I'm on fire! Poetry and power! Poetry and power!
On Friday, the home run watch continued against Brian Bohannon. McGwire hit one over 500 feet. We're surprised now when it doesn't go that far. Later, against power pitching Antonio Osuna, he went deep again, and now he is sitting on 42 home runs. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. As Tom Boswell of the Washington Post called it, it's the National Home Run Watch. McGwire, Griffey, Sosa, and we wake up every morning. We watch SportsCenter. In the evening, we watch baseball. Okay, Chris, now, from Coors Field in Denver in our 9th season, it's ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. Tonight, Mark McGwire with 43 home runs, and the Cardinals take on league batting leader Dante Bichette and the Colorado Rockies. You're looking at Coors Field, Denver, where tonight ESPN Sunday Night Baseball brings you the National Home Run Watch. Mark McGwire has not homered in the last 5 games. Still at 43. Griffey at 40. Sammy Sosa did homer today at Wrigley Field for 38. Greg Vaughn of the Padres at 37. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller, and welcome to Coors Field. Tonight, the Mark McGwire Home Run Watch continues, as we said, and McGwire without a home run since last Monday when he went deep at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. When he did go deep, it was vintage McGwire into the second deck at the old ballpark, and that is quite a shot indeed. But Joe Morgan is here with me. Joe, he's 0 for his last 15 in his longest hitless streak of the year. 7 walks in those 5 games as well as he goes into play here tonight.
Well, I think what you're seeing, John, is the pitchers know that they're going to give up a certain number of home runs a year, but they do not want to be embarrassed by one of these 500-foot Mark McGwire home runs. So all of a sudden, everyone is trying to make perfect pitches, and they're not capable. But you take yesterday's ball game. Watch, this is almost a perfect pitch. Knee high and away, McGwire goes out and gets it, but he can't hit it well enough to get it out of the ballpark. And I think that's what we're starting to see. Plus, when they're making all these pitches, he only gets 1 or 2 pitches a game to swing at, and he probably presses a little bit, and that's why he's in a slump right now.
All right, so McGwire tonight against the Rockies. He has not hit a home run in 5 games at Coors Field this year. The Rockies, though, they are hitting some home runs, particularly Vinny Castilla. He hit 2 here on Friday, 33 for the year, and the Rockies have won 5 in a row this week.
Well, Vinny Castilla, I think, is a catalyst for all this. He has 94 RBIs to go with those 33 home runs. And, of course, Dante Bichette is leading the league in hitting. Larry Walker's not hitting with the power he displayed last year, but he's still getting on base, doing all the other things that made him an MVP last year.
All right, so McGwire with 43 going against the Rockies here, the mile-high atmosphere of Denver. Stay with us.
This thing like it's going to be broken, and the fans want to. But you got to understand, this is a game of baseball. This is not an individual sport now. This is teams trying to win a ball game. I mean, if they have to walk a guy, if it's me or it's somebody else, the fans have to understand that. You know, so you guys have to tell them that, because obviously they're listening to the media.
But he's got a strong enough arm that he can string it across there. Nice play.
One down, and Brian Jordan up now. Right out to right as we're coming up. 2 Baltimore Orioles have hit for the cycle in their history. Brooks Robinson and Cal Ripken. Third baseman and a shortstop. In fact, Joe, I don't think any outfielder's ever done it. Actually, I saw Fred Lynn do it. Saw Mike Greenwell do it.
Hey, that's a nice sign. Sammy's so-so, Griffey's iffy, but McGwire will set the mark.
Here he is, 43 home runs. And there goes number 44. It may not come back. Over the bleachers. Wow. Now that was a home run.
John, what's amazing to me is that the pitch that they got him out on and set him up with was a sinker. Now they throw him a curveball, and watch this. Look at that. It hangs right in the middle of the plate. His best pitch so far has been his sinker and his riding fastball, and he threw him a curveball and then hung in the middle of the plate, and McGwire puts a charge into it. Some kid may have caught that on the fly, John.
Ray Langford, base hit past Castilla. And Langford is quickly aboard. Mark McGwire.
Oh, we'll take a look at this home run. See, there's the curveball, and you can see where it ends up, about belt high, and that's not the place to throw a curveball to Mark McGwire. He is not fooled at all. Actually, it's a little above the belt.
2 on.
Let's take a look at this swing. There, see the uppercut that he has in his swing, that slight uppercut. But that's why he hits so many balls in the air, and that's why he's able to hit so many home runs. But 98-mile-an-hour swing right there.
Wasn't known as big back then. And they weren't commenting about McGwire and the Babe in the same breath, or McGwire and Maris.
Side corner. Here we see the pitch. A little slider on the outside part of the plate. That's a nasty pitch. Better learn to foul that off or hit it, kid, or you'll be back in Tacoma.
I don't know who the announcer was, but man, he was a little tough. But the thing that amazed me, he said, look how big his arms are. They could see him today.
In 5 ball games, including 2 this weekend. And when he got to town on Friday, Mark McGwire perhaps showing a little bit of the strain of the expectations of the home runs.
You guys talk about how easy it is to hit home runs, and you never talk about a pitcher trying to get me out on the mound. I never once seen an article about that. Or you guys talking about how pitchers, I see the best of any pitcher that when I get in that box. That's how difficult this thing is. You know, this so-called record that everybody wants to be broken. And nobody talks about the guy on the mound. He's not going to lay it on a tee. And just because I'm playing here or I'm playing in Wrigley Field doesn't mean I'm going to hit a home run. You know, so, you know, that's the things you have to deal with. I just wish you guys would talk about it.
And with me is my partner, Joe Morgan. And indeed, Joe, the expectations are so high for Mark McGwire. When Maris broke Ruth's record in 1961, there were no pre-expectations. It was a total shock and surprise. But with Mark McGwire, they've been talking about it since opening day, even since before opening day, almost as if it's a fait accompli that, of course, he's going to break the record.
Well, and I think he is starting to feel that himself in his... Look, when you're the best, and he's the best home run hitter in the National League, maybe in all of baseball, so the pitchers are always going to bear down on you. I think he's starting to show a little bit of the edge because most of these pitchers who are not capable of making perfect pitches are trying to make perfect pitches on him, and if they miss, they end up walking him. He's only getting 2 at-bats in some games and maybe only getting 3 pitches to swing at. And I do believe that is starting to affect him, but it's going to get worse, not better.
All right, so we'll see him tonight here in Denver. The Rockies and the Cardinals. Now let's go back to you, Chris.
All right, Langford out looking, and Langford is still looking, but this time at the umpire. Top of the 7th. We're tied at 5, first and third for Jose Valentin. And Valentin comes through the base hit to right. Marquise Grissom would score, and the Brewers get the lead back, up 6-5. This game was not over. Bottom of the 8th, Cards trailing 8-5. Langford up again, the bases loaded, this time facing Mike Myers, and this time he wouldn't strike out looking. He would swing for the grand slam. So the Cards once again take the lead 9-8. Your next batter, Mark McGwire. McGwire going the other way. How often do you see it after a grand slam? A Mark McGwire home run, his 45th of the season, 100th RBI. Top 9, Brewers trail 10-9. Jeremy Burnett walks, loads him up with nobody out. Bob Hamelin strikes out swinging. Here's Darren Jackson.
1-1. There's a drive well hit to center field. Langford chasing, still going back! Get out of here! The salami for D-Jax! That's the fact! Jax!
And in dramatic fashion, the Brewers win 13-10 on the Jackson Grand Slam. How about a couple of Grand Slams?
Everybody wants to have a home run call in Sports Center, don't they?
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Please just say, gone or get out of town and I mean it! Of McGwire's now 45 home runs. The latest was only the second of the season that he hit to the opposite field. When asked about it, the bomb, he said, I don't want to talk about it. Prior to that, Mac was slumping with just one hit in his previous 20 ABs. He picks up his 100th RBI of the season in the losing effort. The Cards bullpen allows 10 runs in the final 5 innings. Stuart.
The following is a presentation of Turner Sports, which this year brought you cable television's coverage of the 18th Winter Games from Nagano, Japan. And this month is the exclusive cable host of the 4th Goodwill Games from New York.
Fly ball left. Collinsworth going back on the ball. Looking up. It's a grand slam. Home run.
You like apples? How about them apples?
Get him out of here. Into center field. It's a 3-home run night for Big Mac. Get him out of here. There it is. See you later, Upper Deck McGwire. Out of here.
Up into the night, into the upper tank. Are you kidding me? Oh, my.
Get him out of here. 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 Get him corner. Come on. Get him out of here. McGwire's done it again. Get him out of here. 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 Got the label with the crook.
McGwire pops it up. Jeff Cirillo making the catch. Cards don't score in the top of the first, but they do have a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the third. Fernando Vina at third with 2 outs. Cirillo at the plate off of Darren Oliver, former Ranger, and it goes through the wickets of former Ranger Fernando Tatis. Brewers would tack on 2 more unearned runs in the inning. We're tied at 3 in the bottom of the 5th. John Jaha at first. Jeremy Burnett's at the plate and takes Darren Oliver deep and gone. A 2-run shot, his 26th of the season. Oliver 3 earned, 9 hits and 5 2/3 in his first Cardinal start. Top of the 6th, Cards down 5-3. McGwire takes Woodard deep to left and just misses number 46 off the top of the wall, and you'll see on the replay that the ball still stays in the yard. Next batter, Ray Langford. Called strike 3, takes umbrage. Greg Bonet tells him to take a shower or something to that effect. Brewers win 6-5.
Welcome back to St. Louis. And that welcome includes those of you watching Seattle and Detroit. Mark McGwire, first pitch, 4th inning, ball 1. Bottom half of the inning, the Cubs on a 2-run shot by Jose Hernandez have increased their lead to 3-0. McGwire on 1-0. Takes a strike, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. Big Mac fly to right, his first time up. 2-1. And during his first at bat, he just missed, and I mean just missed, his 3rd opposite field home run of the year. Into left field, there goes number 46. McGwire's magic number is now 16. As Ray Langford takes the ball. Nobody on or out, and Big Mac just took a bite out of a Mark Clark delivery and rode it over the wall into the seats and left. 1 ball, 1 strike on Langford.
Remember when we went over the scouting report of Mark Clark, we talked about how Clark throws a light sinker. Well, that was what McGwire hit. And believe me, he didn't get all of that. He hit it just above the trademark.
Two and one.
On a 2-1 pitch right here, you can see that ball inside, and Sosa saying, I can't believe that guy did it again.
And now he is up by 3 balls, 2 strikes on Langford.
But I can certainly understand it.
For obvious reasons. There's so much pressure on him to go deep game after game after game. Here's the 3-2 to Langford.
Sunday 3 times, so whatever they have working, they better hope it lasts. Tuesday, it's up to Bobby Jones on the hill to face Mac. Let's see how he did. Here's McGwire doing a little pregame meditation. I must homer. Top of the second, no score, man on. The Cards intentionally walk Ray Ordonez with the pitcher coming up. Tony La Russa hopes the strategy will pay off. Bobby Jones drills the double to center.
So much for that strategy. A 2-run.
Just out of Willie McGee's reach. Mets lead 2-zip. Bottom of the 4th, Cards down 4-zip. Base is empty. Jones facing Big Mac. Is it time? It looks like it. 464 footer.
Yeah, baby.
47th of the season. He retakes the major league lead.
Bases empty.
6th inning now. Cards trail 5-1. McGwire takes a shot at homer number 48. How far back is it going to go? Just to the track. Wow. Mac goes 2 for 4. Mets take the game, and that's, of course, what they're concerned about, to stay right on the Cubbies and McGwire. Wow, number 47. Mets manager Bobby Valentine is happy with the team's recent run.
We've been playing well, so what do you do?
Well, you put Ray Ordonez on. He's hitting 295 off against the left-hander. Excuse me. So you pitch to the pitcher, and what's Bobby Jones do? He drives one into the gap. 235. This is RBIs 3 and 4 that come around for him. You get burned, but you got to go with the strategy.
It backfired. So does this. McGwire. Jones put it on a silver platter, and Mark delivered his 47th of the year. 464 feet. For last night, bottom 8. Turk Wendell got McGwire swinging at the slider. McGwire, his head nearly fell off. He was shaking it so hard. Tonight, bottom 8. Mets up 8-3. It's Wendell again. He is your Mark McGwire bug spray.
Well, he kept that one a little bit further outside tonight. Yesterday, had he thrown that same pitch inside again, McGwire would have hit that one. But that one, he kept it off the plate.
All right, instead of busting 45, after McGwire strikes out in the 8th, it's par in 5 as the Cardinal fans exit Busch Stadium in a hurry. After the game, Mark was asked to do some talking again.
Because when I'm always asked these questions in front of all you, like within 20 minutes after the game, I have no time to react and no time to think about it. Obviously, it'll mean something for the end.
All right, so the Mets win. They are your wild card leaders. Florida, LA, bottom 9-1.
Well, if you don't have a ticket for this one, do as Vin Scully would advise. Pull up a chair and stay a while as Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa square off with the Cubs in a pennant race here at the friendly confines. As always, when Big Mac is around, the cameras are sure to follow, and Mark McGwire didn't disappoint the media, Stoney, or the fans in batting practice. He was hitting rockets everywhere.
With the wind blowing in, it really doesn't matter. When the big guys hit them, they go a long way, and that will hold true today with the wind blowing straight in at 15 miles an hour.
And a moment ago, Sammy Sosa took the field to a tremendous roar for the Cubs in right field as he and Mark McGwire enter this contest, each tied in the National League and the Major Leagues with 47 home runs on the year for their respective ball clubs. So let's tear out number 1 as Jordan flies to right, and Mark McGwire will stand in with a chance to put the Cardinals in front. Of course, we asked Big Mac about hitting all those home runs and chasing Roger Maris.
If anybody's going to break this record, it's going to have to be a perfect year. And it's a tough record to break. And that's all the way, from day one to the end of the season. It's a tough thing to do. If it was easy to do, it would have been broken a long time ago.
That's exactly right. It is a very difficult thing to do. As Mark McGwire with 47 stands in. Traxel's first pitch misses. And on 2 pitches, the Cardinals have a double with 1 man out. That ball was really tattooed.
Mark Clark against the Cardinals in his lone appearance went 6 1/3 innings, give up 5 earned runs. This is a fastball. It's on the inner portion, and Brian Jordan puts a charge into it. So last night he was 1 for 4. He starts off taking it against the Ivy and winds up at second base. And Big Mac will stand in.
McGwire hitting .285, 47 home runs, 106 runs batted in. He sends a drive deep toward left. Back goes Henry at the track. He's got room out number 2. Oh, he just missed.
Well, fortunately, the 8-mile-an-hour wind was blowing in ever so gently. Otherwise, it's 2-0 early. As Mark McGwire, the best swing in the series, just missed hitting it out of the ballpark. He goes down and tries to get it. Henry reaching for the Ivy, knows he has just enough room in a step, and he makes the catch.
Nothing to it. Had it all the way. One on, 2 outs. As McGwire now 0 for 5 in the series. Hey, Harris, he said Steve Stone in my ear. You guys are on the same wavelength. That's scary. The 2-0. Swung on line. Hard in the air toward left. Mabry at the track. At the wall. It's over his head. Sosa's going to try for 2. Mabry's got a great arm, and Sammy is going to be tagged out. So McGwire has almost hit 1. Sosa has almost hit 1. It's a long single, and Sammy tagged out at second to retire the side.
Mabry has one of the best arms in the outfield, and he shows it to Sammy here. Sammy kind of went into a premature home run trot, and it cost him the out at second. The general manager then of Minnesota had some good veteran players when he took over, and they helped lead the way, and Gary Gaetti was one of them. He is a big game player, and the Cubs will have some big games going down the stretch. So Sammy gets that huge hand, and let's see if he can take one out. He missed by about 3 feet, hitting the top of the wall last time in the 3rd inning.
So Sosa the batter. He's 1 for 2, and he sends a rocket deep toward left. Back goes Mabry at the track, at the wall. He's got it, number 48.
That also gives him the major league lead in runs batted in, the major league lead in home runs, and Sammy, who just missed in the 3rd, puts the Cubs on top by 4 with his 48th. The fans going crazy here in Chicago.
The cheer for the curtain call. 48 home runs for Sosa. He leads baseball in homers. He leads baseball in RBIs now. And more importantly, the Cubs lead in the game 6-2.
Every run courtesy of the home run today. 3 2-run bombs.
One by Jose Hernandez, one by Henry, and one a moment ago from Sammy Sosa. Wow. We're in the 5th.
100 cameras down on the field, and 80,000 fans combined between the 2 days to come out to see just one thing, and that was Sammy hit the ball out of the ballpark, and he obliged them today by doing it.
Grace sends a drive toward right, but the wind will knock it down. Jordan will
preserving it from
ball 4. Sosa is walked.
That puts a big insurance run at second base, and the crowd boos as Grace steps in.
And if you're Tony La Russa, do you go to the pen to bring in the left-hander? You got Grayson Rodriguez. And I got to believe he'll go to the left-hander. It's Sammy and Mark McGwire talking it over.
Did you see what Mac did? He said, what's all this being kissing and stuff? And then he smacked him with the glove. Those two guys really have enjoyed each other's chase, and they have become each other's biggest supporters here in 1998. Cardinals will go to Lance Painter that'll come on and face Mark Grace.
Well, I think that
in a one-run game.
Mark McGwire probably saying to Sammy, I'm a real big guy. I know how I can hit him, but compared to me, you look like a jockey. How do you hit so many of them?
Yeah, that's because he's not seeing him without his shirt on too often. Sammy's put together pretty good.
I would say at about 5'11", 5'11 and a half, about 210. Sammy is an awfully strong man.
Slider missed. 3 balls and a strike.
You've got Mulholland. Regardless of the resolution of this at bat, it's going to be Mulholland against Langford.
And Mabry, too. The 3-1 to Mack. Swung on, belted deep toward left. No doubt about that, baby. We are tied. And McGwire is hit number 48.
He got him in a 3-1 hole. He came at him with a fastball. The second home run Karshner's given up. And so Mark Clark can't win it. Kent Bottenfield can't lose it. And we are tied at 48 for the home run lead. And the fans who've come here today have gotten their money's worth. McGwire now has driven in 107 with his 48th. And just like that, the game is tied at 6. And that young man has a souvenir, fought for, I'm sure, and Karshner will depart. And Mulholland will come into the game.
What a ball game. It's 48 home runs now for Mark McGwire. The game now tied 6-6. Matt Karshner has given up 2 home runs in the ball game. And now the Cub bullpen turns to Terry Mulholland to try to end this 8th inning. Big Mac unloads. So has Sammy. And we're tied again at the friendly confines.
Talk with Terry Mulholland about how they want to work Mark McGwire. .3-1 fastball. It was on the inner portion, and McGwire hits his 48th to tie up the ball game.
Well, the Cardinals want to take a lead here, or the Cubs have the 2, 3, and 4 spots to up in their half of the 10th inning. Mack 1 for 3. The Mulholland pitch. He wants to keep it in on his hands and up. He's had very good success against him. 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. 2-0. Swung on, belted into center field. Judson back at the track, at the wall. McGwire has number 49.
Terry fell behind 2-0, and just like the 3-1 Karshner pitch, Big Mac puts a charge into it. Even into a stiff breeze, he takes it out in center field. And just like that, Big Mac has reclaimed the lead from Sammy Sosa. His 48th and 49th have given the Cardinals a 1-run lead. But Sammy will have his opportunity to tie it up in the 10th.
Wow. Sosa hit 48, and that woke Big Mac up. He hit number 48 in the 8th inning to tie the game. He just hit number 49 to put the Cardinals in front. 7-6.
RBI number 108. Big Mac says you don't start talking about the records until you get to 50 before September. And he's got a long way to go before September, and the Cardinal fans very happy right now, but the Cubs still have their opportunity in the bottom of the 10th.
49th career multi-homer.
Terry Mulholland's afternoon as they go up by 2. And here's McGwire on a 2-0 pitch. This untied it. Out over the plate and up, and McGwire gets just about every bit of it. And Langford against the left-hander crushes this ball because it's down and out away from him. And he takes it all the way back.
So the big boppers for the Cardinals came to life in the 8th, 9th, and 10th innings here to give the Redbirds a 2-run lead now. And Terry Mulholland is talking.
Stopping the sluggish slump. Now, all it would take with 1 or 2 homers, or maybe 3. There seem to be more and more naysayers around the water cooler these days. Big Mac has slowed down. Since the All-Star break, more than 50% of Mark McGwire's plate appearances have resulted with the ball not even being put in play. He's struck out 25% of the time, been walked 26% of the time. Not the way folks from Sea to Shining Sea envision the Maris chase winding down. Case in point, Tuesday's proceedings in the friendly confines. McGwire and Sammy Sosa going a combined 0 for 9 with 6 strikeouts, but things can turn in a hurry. All it takes is one game, like Wednesday's matinee on the north side. They're all giving themselves much love. The wind blowing in early, and perhaps early, that is what kept Big Mac in the yard. Takes Mark Clark deep to left field. H-Rod at the wall. Feels the ivy. Makes the grab. Big Mac just misses hitting number 48. So Sosa tries his hand at hitting 48. Bottom of the 3rd, 2-2 tie. Rips Kent Bottenfield to left. Just off the wall. Turns on the Jets. After he sees it stays in, and he's out at second. John Mabry guns him out. So now McGwire, the top of the 5th, watching Sammy Sosa hit one out. First time Sosa had overtaken McGwire in the Maris chase all season with number 48, but that 6-2 Cubs lead was equally as fleeting as Sosa's lead in the home run race. 6-5 Cubs, top of the 8th. McGwire trying to keep pace with Sosa, and McGwire delivers. Takes Matt Karchner deep and gone. Number 48 on the year. We're tied at 6. That's your score in the top of the 10th. McGwire looking for homer number 49 for his second on the day for the lead in this very ball game against Terry Mulholland. And all in one fell swoop, McGwire got it. Deep and gone to center field. Into the shrubbery. 7-6, St. Louis up. Bottom of the 10th, it's 8-6 Cards. Juan Acevedo on the mound. Of course, the bases are loaded in this situation. What a great game. Manny Alexander up, pops up. Fittingly, Mark McGwire records the final out. McGwire loving, Sosa bumming as the Cardinals win 8-6. So just when you thought they had no shot to catch Maris, Sosa hits 1, McGwire hits 2. Fittingly, the 49th multi-homer game of his career and 6th this season. McGwire's 49th home run was also his 9th game-winning homer of the season. What a day in Wrigley. Not only did one guy deliver, both of them did.
First couple of bats, I felt really good. I was just underneath a couple. And to me, that's a good sign, you know. So I just knew it was just a matter of millimeters.
That's why he's the man. You know, I don't have no have to say, you know, he just one of them make a good contact. You know, we've been pitching real well until that moment. You know, we just made a few mistakes right there. You know, that's why he's been the man.
If we didn't have more on this story later in the show, we wouldn't be the worldwide leader in sports information dissemination we claim to be. McGwire 1 shy of 50, Sosa 1 right off of his pace. All that 30 minutes from now on SportsCenter. Well, took another step, or in the case of McGwire, steps towards 61. What a day in Chicago Wednesday. Jeremy Schaap, one of the 38,000-plus individuals lucky enough to be on hand, reports.
The fans were waiting on Waveland Avenue. They were waiting in the bleachers, and before it was over, their patience was rewarded. Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire both homering. McGwire twice. At Wrigley Field, a rare pennant race, a seesaw home run chase, a stunning day for baseball. Almost everything a Cubs fan could want.
This is something that I had the appreciation for the fan, but, you know, they have to understand that we're in the middle of the pennant race. You know, I'm not thinking about the record. I'm thinking about making it to the playoff.
We're both having fun playing the game. That's it, you know. I mean, he's having just a fabulous year. I mean, it's even though I'm on the other side and we're playing against him, and I want to see our team win. It's awesome to see that kind of talent and the way he goes about his business. He's quite a player.
McGwire had struggled recently. In Tuesday night's loss, he struck out 3 times. But with his first multi-home run game since July 17th, Mac seems to be back.
It feels like I've been an ornament for the last month. And so I'm just happy to contribute to do something for the Cardinals, and especially this big series here.
In the 8th, he's trying to untie it here. Swing, and there it is! Into center field. Did he get enough? 49! Cards lead, 7-6. He hit it to dead straightaway center, and there's a new leader in the clubhouse.
And I know people are going to make a big deal of going back and forth, you know, the lead of the home runs. And, you know, there's a long ways to go, guys.
With his 48th home run, Sosa established a major league record for home runs in a season by a born player.
Was a key member of the Cincinnati Reds' Big Red Machine. Mark's dad was a polio victim who never had a chance at big-time baseball. Both men, though, are courting immortality this year.
Mark McGwire, Griffey, Mark Jr., McGwire, Sosa, Mark McGwire, Griffey, Mark McGwire, Ken Griffey Jr., Sosa, Mark McGwire, Ken Griffey Jr., McGwire and Griffey.
It's been a 3-man home run circus all year, with McGwire and Griffey and Sosa. And the race has captured the imagination of the players in opposing dugouts as well.
I just think McGwire, if he stays healthy throughout the second half of the season, he's the most consistent. You know, you talk about him never going 15, 20 at bats without hitting a home run.
Every 8 right now.
Over the course of 600, 700 at bats during the course of the season, if he stays healthy, that averages out to 70 home runs. You know, Griffey is a little more streaky, but he's more streaky than anybody else in the game. So, you know, he's more liable to hit 8 or 9 in a week and then go, you know, a few weeks without hitting one.
It's been quite a treat for such a young player like myself to see Ken come in and day out. I mean, BP, what he does during the game and watching him hit behind me every night, it's quite a thrill, and it's quite a learning experience just to see what greatness is every night. I think Mark has a tremendous combination of strength, but the thing that people don't realize is how flexible he is. And you see, I mean, I've seen him at a couple All-Star games and see him without a shirt, and he's shredded. I mean, his waist might be 31, and his shoulders 105. I mean, and he just got tremendous technique, and he's a good hitter too. I mean, that's a rare combination. Someone who can hit the ball 600 feet and can hit 350. I think the #1 candidate right now is Mark McGwire.
Junior, he got the best quick bat in the game. He's so quick from here to there. Then I don't see nobody quicker than you know, from his standpoint to the hitting zone like him.
I never see a guy hit ball hard than Mark McGwire. I got my money Mark.
You think he's going to break it?
I think so, yeah. If he one of the guys that have a shot, could be me, could be Griffey. You never know. But, you know, right now I have, you know, confidence that he can do it. Or maybe after the year so we can have another interview and tell, yeah, I was the one to break it.
Griffey's Griffey. I said this to someone the other day. When he wants to go, he can be the best player in the game, or is the best player in the game, but he can pretty much do what he wants.
Griffey is 6 years McGwire's junior. And this junior, one of 35 active sons of major leaguers in the big leagues, is on a pace to become one of the 3 greatest home run hitters of all time.
Who's the man who has the best chance of breaking Hank's record now?
I would say Ken Griffey Jr.
You think he will?
I think he will.
You do think he will?
I think he will. He's young. He's playing in a good ballpark. He's very positive. He got good strength. He's got good background with his dad who played baseball. And he loves the game. And I think he has a good chance.
Who do you think's the best player in the game?
You know, Ken Griffey. I mean, you just sit there and just go, you know, can you really go after a ball? It doesn't look like you're running after a ball in the outfield and catch it against the fence, or, you know, get a key at every. I mean, it just seems like. And the thing is, I like about Ken Griffey is, he's always has a smile on his face. he treats his game like it's a kid. That's why they call him a kid.
It may come down to who handles the media scrutiny best. In 1961, Roger Maris was so worn down by the pressure of catching Babe Ruth, he lost clumps of hair due to stress.
I think any time a guy is going, after something like that, the pressure's going to mount. I mean, he's a pretty, strong-minded person himself, so I don't think he's going to really let it get to him. But I remember back in 1990, I mean, I think I kind of, went after it the wrong way. I started pressing, I was trying to get it over with, and there you go into a slump, and boom, here we are the last day, and I was fortunate to get it done. But you just got to try to keep that stuff out of your mind. You don't want to start thinking about it.
Like Mark always said, until I have 50 going into September, I don't have a legitimate shot. Well, I think this is the year he will. And once that moment comes, I think the tension's going to come with it. Tremendous amount of pressure. I mean, he's going to have people from Japan coming in and Australia and everywhere else, and I think Mark can handle it fine. But I mean, I think it's going to be hard to deal with it.
If and when someone hits the big one, baseball's most storied power-hitting record will be changed forever.
Everything has to be right. I mean, you got to play close to 162 ball games. Pitchers have to throw you strikes to hit. And it was so hard to get to 50. Nobody really wants to pitch you. They want to pitch around you. But then again, nobody really talks about, there's only been a few people get to 50, and they're talking about getting to 60, 61. I'm thinking, wait a minute, let me get to 50, then you can talk about hitting 61, 62. But I'll tell you what, whoever it is, I mean, there's a lot of guys that are capable of doing it. Things have to be right, and it's going to be a tough go because
Did you have dreams about it, Mark? Did you have a dream or a nightmare? I'm going for 61. Never had a dream.
I mean, what I've done right now in the game of baseball has just exceeded any expectations I've ever thought I can ever do. I always thought I was a pretty good hitter in college. But, college is such a different level than the minor leagues and the big leagues. And I think I've amazed myself.
Babe Ruth as the only four-time 50 home run hitters in a season. As it is, he's on course for 3 50 home run seasons in a row. But comparisons with the life of the party, Ruth and Big Red, end on the field. McGwire's power and ferocity belie his gentleness and humility. For unlike Ruth, he has no need or desire for celebrity. A total lack of self-importance. This is not your favorite thing in the world, talking about you.
No. I don't know who does. I didn't play this game to talk about myself. I played the game because God gave me a talent, and I succeeded and pursued my dreams, and I went for it. I don't think anybody's really prepared to play sports, and all of a sudden all this media attention comes on them.
Is it a weird scene?
Yeah, sometimes it's uncomfortable. I'm a type of guy, I like to be low-key. I understand the situation that we're in as far as athletes and some of the responsibilities that we have as athletes, and you try to live up to them. It's tough to, because we are just like anybody else. We make mistakes. I mean, people see it every day in the paper. Athletes screwing up. I just really wish that there was more things written about how much we do love the game. I mean, I know personally I would not play this if I didn't love it, and that's why. I mean, it's this, like I said earlier, this is a kid's game, and I'm very fortunate to play this game, and I love it, and that's the way I'm going to treat it. The money comes with it, just like comes with your job.
Not quite the same money.
No, I know that, but then we deal with a lot of pressure.
It's a time in my life that I want to help them out, so I will do everything in my power to start my foundation.
Some have speculated that McGwire's emotional dedication to abused children during last season's press conference to announce his signing in St. Louis is a manifestation of his own guilt over having been an absentee father. Divorced, a single parent, his 10-year-old son Matt isn't just the light of his life. He is his grounding, his sanity in the midst of the media madness.
I think any father that can have their son be a bad boy and watch like you can watch, I mean, it's a thrill. I mean, I'm just happy that he really enjoys the game of baseball.
What have you learned as a single parent about what you were talking about before, about smelling the rose a little bit, appreciating things, being around your boy, having your boy see and enjoy this game with you?
Well, I mean, as far as single parent, I think just being with him, and letting him know how much you love him every day. I mean, I know how he gets sick and tired of me telling him that I love him. But I have to give a lot of credit to my ex-wife. I mean, she's an excellent mother. And I couldn't ask for a better situation with the husband she married in Tom. Great stepfather. My son's raised in a happy household with his mother. And when he comes with me and he stays with me, he's just in another happy household. Mm-hmm. He's going to be such a well-rounded kid, appreciate whatever he has. And he's so intelligent. He's a lot like me. I was born October 1st. He was born October 4th. So I know when I grew up as a kid, I didn't really say much to my parents, but I definitely heard what they had to say. And I know he's sinking. The things that I say to him are sinking. You know, he just means the world to me. I mean, everything I do in this game, I do it for him.
I think one of the least interesting subjects about you, with you, for you, is talking about home runs. Interestingly enough. Yeah. What would be the perfect Mark McGwire? If you had to retire and keep running around the bases and never come out again, just like Ted Williams, what would be that home run?
Jeez. Perfect home run probably would have to be, that would be something to know that you're going to retire in the last day, the last at bat. Put a 3-2 count, so you know it's going to be the last pitch you're probably going to see.
And maybe the ball explode as it goes out of the park.
They only do those in commercials.